Boxing is crazy. And I say that with all due respect, but boxing is crazy. I mean, think about how far we've come. We're talking about Boots versus Teofimo Lopez. That's the talks that are happening. That's the negotiations that are going on behind the scenes. I mean, we went from Boots being, everybody was talking about him potentially being the best in the world at 147 pounds. He's calling out Errol Spence. He's calling out Terrence Crawford. Terrence goes off there, smokes Errol Spence. He's calling out Crawford. Let's make this happen. Let's see who's the best at 147 pounds. Crawford goes up to 154. He's talking about chasing him. That's how big this dude was at one point. He's talking about chasing him. Then all of a sudden, we see that rematch with Chukajan, and it basically gets, that's it. It's over. We're not talking about a fight with Terrence Crawford anymore. And all of a sudden, hey, Boots breaks out another. He pulls out the ace up his sleeve, says, we're going to be having a fight with Virgil Ortiz. And all of a sudden, that just crumbles in horrible fashion, right? We all know how that one went down and the back and forth and Boots denying that he knew that anything was going. Just a mess. Just a mess. And now all of a sudden we hear this. Now all of a sudden we hear that he's talking about potentially fighting Teofimo Lopez. And think about it from Teofimo's perspective. I mean, the courage on this dude, right? I mean, think he goes over at 135 pounds and beats Lomachenko. The fight that nobody really wanted, the one that everybody was scared of, the guy that everybody knew was just a master and a wizard around the ring, and the way he was able to do everything, he goes out there and definitively wins the fight. Moves up to 140 pounds and beats Josh Taylor. Definitive fashion, right? Everyone's like, whoa, we didn't see that one coming. We didn't think it was going to happen. He goes out there and makes it happen. If he were to go up to 147 pounds and beat Boots, I mean, think about how we'd have to talk about this guy. I mean, for all of the ups and downs in his career, for all of the mental health issues and the back and forth, and sometimes he doesn't appear to be locked in and this and that and everything. Think about how we would honestly have to talk about this dude. I mean, he has got everything to gain. When you talk about the legacy fight and you talk about making these huge moves, that'd be insane. Boots, on the other hand, this dude's got nothing to win and everything to lose, because after the way that he's been getting talked about and going from Terrence Crawford, Virgil Ortiz, now he's fighting Teofimo Lopez, the only way that he can even come out of this and not be dogged is if he knocks him out in the fourth round. I mean, think about it. If he wins a comfortable decision, people are going to just hammer him. How are you going to win a comfortable decision against Teofimo Lopez when we were talking about you the way you were supposed to be? I mean, look, on the one hand, this is actually a fight that I would be looking forward to more than one that we were just talking about, which was Richardson-Hitchens, right? Hitchens goes out and wins the belt off Leon Paro, and he starts calling it Teofimo Lopez. I said in the video, that isn't a fight that I would be interested in. It's not one that I think would be very entertaining. Both of those guys don't like to come forward. Both of those guys shine when they're fighting a little bit more off their back foot. Hitchens prefers to be on the outside. You've got the explosiveness of Teofimo, but he wants to set traps. Hitchens doesn't want to be too aggressive and coming forward and everything. No. That's not the fight that we want to see. So in this regard, Teofimo versus Boots would be a little bit better because it would give each man the opportunity to shine, right? In the sense that Boots wants to be aggressive. He wants to come forward. He's going to be pushing the pace. Teofimo wants to be on the back foot. He wants to set traps. He wants to try to move and go to the ropes occasionally and then use that explosiveness and the fast hands and the counter punching and everything that he's known for. That's the way that both of these men want it to play out. The problem for Teofimo is that he's significantly smaller. He's going to have significantly less strength. He's going to be going against a guy who's just as, if not more, athletic. So when you see what Teofimo has, which is the fast hands and the explosiveness and the offensive buzzsaw type moves and the ability to just come with these lightning quick combinations and everything, it's not going to fly so well against Boots, being a much bigger, stronger guy with a longer reach who's also very explosive and athletic. And we know that Teofimo's power didn't carry with him. We know what he was doing at 135 pounds. He's blowing dudes out the water with the highlight reel knockouts. That isn't what we've seen since. Now, all of a sudden, he's going to go up to 147 pounds. And let's be honest, we know Boots has a chin because Boots gets caught with some shots. That's one of the critiques about him, is that the man's defense isn't airtight by any stretch of the imagination. We talk about Jaron Ennis, we're not talking about the second coming of Floyd Mayweather. He's not a defensive wizard, so we know he's got a chin. We know Teofimo's power isn't going to carry. The only way he wins that fight is if he goes out there and dominates over the course of 12 rounds. And while I consider him a very skilled fighter, man, that is going to be an uphill battle, right? He's going to be swimming against the current in that one. So my hat's off to the man, though. If he really goes out there and actually makes this fight, if this isn't talk, if this isn't posturing, if he actually goes out there, makes this happen, steps in the ring with Boots, wow. My hat's off to him, because that is just a huge step up in not only competition, but just physically the size of the man that you're fighting. So I'll be interested to see how this one plays out. But man, Teofimo would have to be a big dog going into it. So let me know what you guys think. Is this actually legitimately a fight that's going to happen? What do you think about Boots with all the back and forth and Crawford all the way to Virgil Ortiz? And all of a sudden we see this. This was after the rematch when he had a very underwhelming performance against Chugajan. And what about Teofimo? How would we have to talk about him? Honestly, realistically, how would we have to talk about this man if he went out there and he made this fight happen and he won, particularly in dominating fashion, right? Went out there, caught him early with like some counter right over the top of something. Boots was on the back foot and then he just started kind of dominating the fight and beating him up and, took it to a 12-round decision. How would we talk about him? Let me know what you guys think.